Where am I? Hello. Boom, there I am. Okay, hey everybody. What's up? This is Matt from Cryptoharlem, and it's the Cryptoharlem live stream. It is August 19th, 2023, and today's live stream is called Almost 40,000 Hackers. What could go wrong? So much could go wrong. I'm wearing my DEFCON shirt. I have a DEFCON pin. I tried so hard to stream from the con, in a privacy preserving and respectful way. But let me tell you, so much to jump into. This is not the content for one stream. It's probably going to be a couple different things, but it was good. It was, why am I blinking? I don't like that blinky blink. It was good. Let me also fix my sound. Um, Boom. Hello. Do you like this sound? What about this sound? That's right. Thank you, Elgato mics. Got this Elgato mic. Might as well use it. Okay, let's get it. Uh, Ghost mic in the house. Cool shirt. Thank you. Cool you. You know, I appreciate you for the. That's a cool shirt guy thing. Okay. Um. So yeah, what are we talking about? I'm going to talk about, I guess, a little bit about DEF CON because people were asking about it, and then I'll move into uh, Crypto Harlem stuff because I think it's really important people understand what that is. Talk about some changes as we move into the fall, um, and yeah, that's that. But before I do that, I should take a break. So I'm going to run and get a drink. We also provide drinks for you. They're in your refrigerator. So if you don't mind, just you don't have to thank us. We figured out this technology. It's in your fridge. Just go ahead and go get a drink, and it's on us. Be back. Be back in, I don't know, like 59 seconds. I did not lie. I have returned. Thank you so much. Um, okay, yeah. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I mean, the conference was great. There was a lot of people. Um, I've been going to DEF CONs for many years, and every year there's more people. But I feel like in recent years, maybe because people were like, "It's the pandemic and life is over. I should have went to DEF CON." And then after we've reached this other phase of the pandemic, people feel like, "Oh, you know what? I always said I should have gone, and there was that window when I thought there'd be no more. I should go now." I don't know what it is, but there are people out in mass, and there's more people than ever. And I think like it's an ever evolving, changing thing that's owned by no one, I guess. And but it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to be this top secret, cool, dangerous hacker conference when you have like 40,000 people there. Like that's just not going to happen. So I and Black Hat, just big industry conference, had like 20,000 people there. So that's a lot of human beings. And obviously, with all those people in one place, it's going to lead to all kinds of shenanigans, good and bad. And also, it's hard to maintain a culture of anything. Like I've been doing Crypto Harlem for 10 years, and like, what is the culture of Crypto Harlem? How do you maintain that? Like, it becomes its own monster in a way after a while, and you got to come to terms with that. You got to figure it out. So unless you have like a board of directors and like a mission and a constitution and like all this planning, it just what worked for 10,000 and worked for 15, it doesn't work for 40, and it's hard to really have that same energy, that same culture. And even though there'll be sessions like intro sessions and exit sessions, I think a lot of people don't catch those. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, what do people think is this conference? I always wonder. I always try to speak to people who are like, "Oh, it's my first time coming," and I'm like, "Oh, what brought you? Like, what did you expect? And like, why did you come? And like, why did you come this time when you haven't come in the past? If you knew about it from before, it's really interesting. You learn like different things. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So if y'all have any questions about the con, please let me know. And I also want to say that like, yeah, like last week's stream from the conference, it was so hard because there's so much broken Wi-Fi. There's so much Wi-Fi that's not real. And there's so much like messed with Wi-Fi. Like people are doing kicking people off, like deauthorizing people from Wi-Fi. People are running all kinds of different things, whether they're experimental or not. They might be affecting cellular or Wi-Fi. Then there's people who are just straight up disrupting cellular Wi-Fi. Then there's like 100 fake, like some really cool and creative Wi-Fi networks. Some of them like, I'm the real DEFCON Wi-Fi network. No, I'm not, so things like that. So I think it's like, it's tricky. It's tricky to run any kind of thing that requires data, even if you have a hotspot. And also that conference center, Caesar Forum, it just wasn't the dopest place for that anyway. It's not the dopest place for Wi-Fi to be popping anyway. So there's just many spots where it's just not that strong, and that's just a thing. So yeah, it was hard. It was hard to do. But I told myself like what I would do is I just try to capture the essence of what I enjoy most about going to those things. For me at this point, like, for me at this point, I go because I want to make sure that Cryptoharlem is always represented there. Because yeah, like the cybersecurity thing, a lot of people, their motivation for being involved is the money you can make in cybersecurity. And for me, it was always this like passionate, cool thing. Like, hey, like I can sit on my computer and I can type away and I can find machines and, code and technologies that someone else made, and I can pick them up and I can manipulate them. I can bend them and break them. So that's true. Dancer Burrito says streaming from conferences is hard. It is hard. It's really hard. And I had tried a couple tests and I thought, okay, I got this. It's going to work. But the closer I got to the con, I did like a faraway walkout and I just kind of walked in, just like more and more issues, especially as, in the morning, nobody's there. But as we kind of ramp up in the day, it just gets wilder and more people. So if I had stayed in like one little spot, I'm in this one corner where I have really good data and I can't show you or tell you anything, but I hope you can get a sense of it. Probably would have worked out better. But what I was trying to do was show you that at DEF CON, there's these things called villages, which are specialized areas, which are run by people who are really doing so much work to bring that energy of that area to DEF CON, because it's an important part of like hacker culture, whatever that means, right? So there's like lock picking, there's like social engineering, there's artificial intelligence, there's red teaming, like all those things. And sometimes they're inside each other, and sometimes they're their own thing. And yeah, I mean, I think that that's a really important and exciting thing. But I wonder how the village works when it's a city, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, LPL? AI, like that thing that makes art for me? Yeah, that thing that makes the art for you. Speaking about it, yeah, I made some AI art, on Midjourney. I've been using Midjourney. I've been using Adobe Firefly. And it is really interesting how you can just think up any random thing and then you could just, boom, the art spits out. You know what I'm saying? So Like if I was like, oh, I need like to see LPL, you know what I'm saying, in a living inside a first person shooter, you know, fighting their way out for the revolution. Like it'd be like, oh, okay, whatever, boom, it just draws it for you. It might draw it for you with people who have octopus hands though. Yo, I was making some art for this guide, which takes me into the next thing I'm going to be talking about. This guide for Crypto Harlem, you know what I'm saying? Because like when I'm at the conferences, I'm like, listen, yeah, secure the bag, get your money, that's fine. But that's not what this is. This we're hackers. We take other people's things and we turn them inside out. Why does that for? Is it so you can have a job guarding the castles? You know, is that what it's for? So is it so you can stack a huge paycheck? Is it so you can get stock options and invest and sit on, you know, wait for the stock to vest and then sell what you can sell and just have those golden handcuffs and just like work for somebody? Is that what it's for? Is that why you have this ability? Is that why you learned all this stuff? Because look, the long and the short of it's like this. You're not a computer programmer. They made the thing. They made the code, they made the machine. You're a computer manipulator. That's what you are. So are you a manipulator that's in their definition of what that's for? Right? Are you the wizard that works for the king? Or are you just like making new worlds and new realms? So to that point, Crypto Harlem's there to say, be a hacktivist. Be a hacktivist. If you want to be corny Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, be a hacktivist after 6. You know, everybody cares about something. Everyone has a community you're writing for. Use your computer skills to make this world better in whatever that way looks like for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Crypto Harlem's out there doing. We just had a booth and we were just sitting out there talking. So props to Sarah and props to Danacia for joining the booth and reaching out and talking to people, especially Danacia was like one person after person. You know, it's like, you think it's hard to public speak. You should try individually speak person to person like that, connecting with people. You know what I'm saying? Because we're out here really like the Sarah Connors of this game. We're warning people that the machines are coming and they're going to stomp on all our skulls. And technology is good and bad, but the bad parts of technology, they don't just get metered out evenly bad. There's some people, some communities, some identities they're super bad for. They're getting crushed. And if we could help lift that robo boot off the neck of these people, then you're saving your neck in the future. But if you wait till it's you, well, then it's game over when they've circled the suburbs, you know? So it's like, it's the black and brown folks, you know what I'm saying? It's the undocumented folks. It's the Muslim folks. It's the Arab folks. It's the trans folks. It's the sex workers. Like, if we're not fighting for those folks, the easy targets of these drones out here, you know, multiple levels of surveillance, othering and criminalizing those identities, then if we can't push back there on the front lines, then it's over. It's a wrap. And that's what Crypto Harlem's about. That's what we're talking to people about. So I met people from straight up like major cities and people from other countries, people from rural areas. And I was just like, you have a fight in this and you have a place in this. And we're going to teach you, because a lot of people have these cyber skills now. And it's like a wizard who's like, you know, the wizard's sorceress, that person, their hands are like taped up. Like they don't fully understand their own power. And so we realize that we need to help them step into their power. You know what I'm saying? With guides and step by step. Like, you could be blue team in mind or red team in mind or purple team in mind. You don't even realize that you're not actually skillful in when it comes to applications of security in the real world. Like you're useless. You're useless on the. You're not a medic. You're not a sniper. You're nothing. So we got to give you, not to use military examples, but LPL has me thinking first-person shooters. That's just a little. That was a little joke. Okay, this is what we have here. I help Facebook make their data centers more secure by physically pen testing it. Exactly. You know, exactly. And LPL also says booth life is rough. It is, LPL. That's the truth. Air horn. It's not easy because you're saying the same thing over and over again, dealing with the same questions over and over again from really people who did not need to stop. Also, you're saying, hey, excuse me, can I have a minute of your time? And people be like, nah, you can't have a minute of my time. You know? So I'm just going to keep walking. Who are you? So that's another thing. So you just got to like collect those no's and still have that warm, high energy thing for every engagement. And it's tricky. D Elixir says, instead of selling merch, we were selling an idea or ideal. And that's true. So like people walk up and they're like, what is this table? What are you selling? And I'm like, we're selling liberation, fam. We're selling you a future where you don't have a robot's foot on your neck. We're selling you a better existence. We're selling you leaning into your own power. And to that point, I thought it'd be cool to like talk about some of the stuff. Because look, if you're out there selling $2 shirts for $500, hey, whatever. If you're out there selling blinky LEDs that were made by little soft little hands burning themselves through the night with no quality control, so they get shipped in a box to your country so you can sell them, and those people get paid pennies on the dollar while you're selling them for $80. Hey, that's you. Do you. But we're not about that. We're not about that. So that's one thing that we were doing. We're like, I'm not collecting your email. I'm not collecting your person identifiable information. I'm not trying to spam you out here. You come to us. You enlist. You sign up when you're ready. We'll just tell you where it is. So that's what the stream was about, and that's what the table was about, and that's what Cryptoharlem's energy is about. We're hacktivists. We're hacktivists 100%. But like I say, we're hacktivists in the most responsible, legal, and with positivity way, right? And we're a factory to make more hacktivists. Because if you're not a hacktivist, what are you doing? You're not a software developer. You're not an engineer. Like, an engineer's biggest problem are the computational constraints, computational expensive code. You write a search badly, it's eating up memory. You drop into something, you crash a server, you have a bug in your thing. That's your biggest challenge. It's you and the little poem that you wrote. Well, hackers are different. Every single one of these things has another human being on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like when there's a phishing attack, there's someone holding on to that reel, hoping to get paid or exfiltrate some data or destroy someone's reputation. It's a person-to-person thing. It's a real thing. It's not checkers. It's chess out here. And people lose sight of that. They forget there's another human being on the other side of all these cyber attacks. It might be behind a bot army, it might be behind some scripts, might be behind some automated tools, but AI is not that good right now. So it's still a person on the other end. It's hacker versus hacker all day. So you're already choosing a side. And you don't realize is like when you're just corpo in mind, you're forgetting why this whole thing started. You don't know your own history. And that's one thing that we decided like we really want to double down on is like teach people the beauty of hacktivist history, and teach people the beauty of the passion that they have, the knowledge, the thing that makes you a problem solver, the thing that makes you a puzzle dissolver, So that's what we're out there doing at DEFCON. So let's talk about those resources that I keep talking about. Let's get into it a little bit. So if you go to cryptoharlem.com, which is available to you on this here internet, just go to the boom, 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 cryptoharlem.com. And when you go there, you'll see a site that, unless you're being redirected to some horrible place, looks a lot like this. So you'll see my back, you know what I'm saying? Crypto Privacy Village from DEFCON 25, I want to say. What was that? I think that was in 2017. I don't know. I could be wrong. But you'll see that. You'll see me, Crypto Privacy Village shout out. You'll see, oh, look at that. Oh, look at all the media attention we be getting. Oh, no. I don't even add them all. I need to add more. You know what I'm saying? I decided that I'm going to also add a lot of the different corporate stuff that we've been on. So, like, for example, Snack, where I got the Snack. Thanks, Snack, for the swag. Rolled through with the challenge coins, and appreciate that. I just be collecting these. So I really appreciate that. So I got their Red Team 5. Thank you, Red Team 5. Snack coin and snack merch and snacks. And they came by. I was just sitting in the hallway at DEFCON, and people will be like, oh, nice like giant gold hat and giant gold sneakers or whatever. I shine bright when I'm at these things. And and people will just be like, oh, actually, here's a bunch of stuff. I just want to say thank you for something you did throughout the year. So it's really my time to engage with the community that I usually virtually engage with throughout the year. And so I decided to add some of those things. So I'm going to add some of the corporate stuff on here because they're all like longer form things, usually podcasts or videos. that were made by companies. So I'm gonna put it on here. But I'm not gonna put any ads that I might have done on here. Don't worry about that. I'm just gonna put stuff that's legit. But yeah, and then there's this whole thing here about the Black community's encryption and some things that we've been on. But if you go to the tippity top of the page, it says resources, and it's like get involved, time to do like Neo and make a choice. And these are our resources, and these are all different guides that we wrote. There's a guide for people who are trying to find a job in cybersecurity, and that's the cybersecurity's opportunity area here. And if you're trying to find a job in cybersecurity, the From Nothing to Something talk that I did at Sam's New to Cyber conference is there. So, you click on the link and you see the slides, and slide number 1 is a video of that talk. So like what you would do is you would just like click on this link, and then you would like see the slide. It will show you this, the From Nothing to Something, getting experience where you don't have any experience. And I try to keep these up to date. So even though I gave the presentation in March, up until May, I was still adding things to it. And if people have feedback, I always try to add to it. I try to make it like, this is the jump off for more information. So these guides, I always try to like update, and then you could click here and you could watch the actual video. That's me and Tanisha Martin from Black Girls Hack, and Simeon, who's a amazing individual who made this like training platform to like kind of help you get an idea of what an actual simulation of like a sim and finding like real incidents, are like. And Jennifer Santiago, who is just an advocate for people getting into the cyber thing from all different areas. So that was the moderator, and you could watch that talk and you could get those skills. And that's like a thing, you know what I'm saying? Then we have cybersecurity's invisibility, privacy recipe. So this needs to be updated because some parts of it like are a little trickier. So I should probably explain. I last updated it like, I think it was like 3 years ago. So it's a guide on how to make a ghost account on any online platform, basically. But it also teaches you about basically, this saying that on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog, and how that's not true. And how there's all these different things from our cell phones to our IP addresses that leak our information, our phone numbers, and having to have a real cell phone, all this other stuff, and ways that you can create accounts on. The challenge was on any service, but I think in this particular case, we talk about Telegram and how to make like a Telegram that is not linkable to you in any way, right? So yeah, but yeah, there's some elements of this that I need to update because things change all the time, and a lot of these things, the spirit of them are the same, but I think people need the step by step to always be good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at the guide itself, this is the guide. It looks like this. It talks about using gift cards for cash. Talks about using throwaway accounts. Talks about different things. Talks about what it might look like when you're using a service like Twilio telephony software to make a phone number. You know what I'm saying? That's a real phone, and how to generate multiples. And then it talks about this idea of like how to use AI to make an automated computer generated face. Like this is an example of one. And the guide was written a long time ago, back when people weren't using like AI faces for everything. I think ours was written in 2019. And obviously, because it's been so much easier to use artificial intelligence, it's really blown up recently. I'm going to rewrite that AI part because there's so many better ways to get AI faces for your avatars and stuff. So definitely going to update that. But the spirit of that guide is always good. Let's see if there's any questions. Hit me up with anything going on in the chat. Switching over to there. Yeah, thanks for your back hasn't aged. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, all those years at DEFCON, I guess like all those heavy backpacks full of hacker gear as a hacker workout. You think CrossFit was grueling? You should try carrying some hacker gear in a black backpack, keeping up with everyone else. Oh, they've got flipper zeros. I need a flipper zero. They got a Wi-Fi pineapple. I need a bigger one. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So, yeah, but also going out through the other guides here. There's our cybersecurity activism guide, which is in on the links here. That we have the English, the Ukrainian, the Russian. We have a French version, which was made by Sarah. Thanks for translating to French. And we have a Spanish version coming. So the cybersecurity activism guide, which is just like the tools that people needed on the streets, like in an easy one-page PDF. So if you click on the link, you're taken to, like in this case, this PDF on Treseret, props to Treseret, right? And when you click on it, you could just view it and you can see it, or you could download it and you can have it. And it has a little PDF here, you know, fully encrypted, zero knowledge. And it tells you to like install Signal. It also tells you about this app called Wire that you could use. It also tells you about turning off your phone, which is something that a lot of people don't do. They don't realize they need to turn off their phone, you know? So like, what do I mean? Like you need to turn off your phone? Like, what does that really mean? Well, the thing is, you need to make sure that your phone is powered off. It actually, a lot of spyware and a lot of malware is dependent on accessing your active memory, your active phone. And by just power cycling your phone, you can shake a lot, you know? That's not even a factory reset, just turning the phone off. And to that point, like we made these, we made some Cryptoharlem merch just to remind people of that. And it's a little sticker that you can put on your phone. So like, you know, I get it. You want to make sure you get some phone calls at night. You're not going to turn your phone off all night. But what you could do is before you go to sleep or when you wake up and brush your teeth, turn your phone off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me just share. On our online store, we have these stickers for like $6. Brushing your teeth, reboot your phone. Okay, so it's like put that on your mirror, you know, in your house. You know what I'm saying? Put it on your laptop. Put it on your phone itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, just remember, like, just do a reboot. It actually does a lot. So if you're organizing, doing activism, if you're a hacker, when's the last time you actually turned off your laptop, turned off your phone? Turn it off. Don't just close the lid. Don't just recharge it when it's getting low and just leave it. It's actually been on running actively for like 3 weeks straight. Nah, that's an amateur move. Don't do that, fam. You got to move to do what the pros do. So anyway, just reminding you, that's what we have out here for you. Now, we have a guide for sex workers, which is the Cybersecurity Sexy Guide. It's the guide for online personas, but it's actually for anyone who needs to maintain a separate identity or persona. And it talks about things that like you should do and things that you should understand and ways that falls down. And when you click on it, it'll take you to a PDF, right? And this was something that we did for Sex Work Survival Guide, which was a 3-day or 2-day conference that was sponsored by Pornhub. And it was like by sex workers, for sex workers. It was really good. It covered everything. It was like DEFCON for sex workers. So it had like physical safety and security. It had a whole session on like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And so one of the things that I talk about is like, there's a really good video by Daly from EFF, Staying Safe in Cyber, right? And I also talk about the ghost accounts recipe that I wrote. But this is like, and then I also talk about dating apps, how dangerous they are, some research that was done. And this is a Kaspersky article. And here's something else that was also an article by Kaspersky on the SecureList site. And it talks about like basically, if you manipulate the GPS of a dating site, which is easy to do if you know how to hack it, which they go into. This guide was made by Slammer, aka Plumsy Code, and myself. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, if you're using a dating app, you can find out that someone is like 1 mile away or less than a mile away, and you just keep moving your pin around, and it's less than a mile away from like each. If you try, like you can basically triangulate them down to like a very, very close proximity that the app doesn't let you see for safety reasons. So you could like move the dot, and they show you how to. They did it in their research that it says, oh, you're a mile away. You're less than a mile. Okay, you're a mile away. And you keep moving the dot, and then you could triangulate this person to basically where they are at this moment, where they're looking at this app. And that's something that a lot of people don't know. So that's what we do. We talk about in this guide, like basically ways that you should create your own kind of like persona that has its own identity, but also has its own computer, its own internet, its own phone, its own email, its own physical address, its own photos and videos and all this other stuff. And that's what we talk about in the guide, is like how to do that. So let me move on. Let me see what we got here. Boom. Look at this right here. Look right there. Step right up. Yo, Dance with Burritos rebooted your phone. Thanks for rebooting your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's up. It has been a couple of days. You're right. Yo, LPL was like, you know what? I'm out. I was watching the stream. I'm out. Peace out. That's how hard you're listening, you know? So just turned off the whole computer and came back. So appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? LPL was saying, my homie found out someone they were dating was opening Tinder, swiping around because they did it from their physical office, and they can geolocate that based on messing with the location sizes. Exactly. So you can mess with the location sizes and the positioning of the device, and it is wild how accurate it can get. So, you know, we basically in that guide, it doesn't, like, a lot of people were like, okay, for example, someone had asked me, I have a company, and my company, I had to like register, and I had to register the company with an address, and that address is my home because it's a small business. I'm putting myself at risk by publishing my address because the LLC addresses get published. How do I avoid that? You know? And I was like, oh, you need to read that sex worker guide. And they're like, did you hear me? I had a company. I'm not a sex worker per se. I just have a company with my address. And I was like, well, fam, we're all in this together. And in that guide, we talk about virtual mailboxes, which is a service that you can have an address in major cities and towns around the United States. You can even be from overseas and have this address for some of these virtual mailbox companies. When someone mails something to this address, you can then have them mail it to you via UPS, FedEx, US Postal Service, DHL, so you can get the mail. Also, you can allow them, right, by giving them permission digitally to open the thing. So if you get a check in the mail to that address, you can have them open it, and then you can have them send you a picture of it. They'll send you both sides picture. You can digitally sign it and then deposit it to your bank account without giving your address. So basically, there's a lot of different things these virtual mailbox services do. And some of them, if you look them up in Google Maps, they look like actual places where a business could be, or actual places where a home could be. So if you want to have a couple of different addresses on file, virtual mailbox service, they got you. Depending on how much you pay, they have many different levels of service. One thing I will say about each one of them is their quality goes down. Like, the quality goes up and down. The quality goes up and down like an elevator, depending on the time or day. So while we started you with a bunch, I can't sit here and list the name for you. So, you know, LPL was like, yo, name names, fam, name names. And I'll be like, it's in the guide though. You know, it's in the guide though. So when you go in here and you go to that part of the guide, so I would tell you, when you go to the Cryptoharlem site, even if the guide sounds like it's not something you'd be interested in, you know, give it a little, you know, scan. You might just find some stuff that's quite interesting, you know. In this case, let's get down to here we go. So we were talking about, just because you asked, LPL, and because, you know, we're doing it for you right now, I'm just gonna put these in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? On the Twitch side of things. But understand, you're gonna have to look these up yourself. Earth Class Mail, Anytime Mailbox, Post Scan Mail, iPostal One, Virtual Mailbox, and US Global Mail. Read all the bad reviews and check the dates and times of those bad reviews. Also, go to Glassdoor and read what people who used to work there are saying, because these businesses, they pop up, they pop down, the quality goes up, the quality goes down. New competitors show up, they close ranks, like they disappear, they change names, they get acquired. It's a weird industry, but it works. It's legit, in like a air quotes way, you know. And we talk about how it's actually against the law to, in the previous slide, let me go back up. Boop, 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 boop. Where is this part? Where did I put this? I don't remember where I put this. Oh, here it is. There are laws against putting incorrect or inaccurate information on a PO box. So a lot of people try to get a PO box, and a PO box actually by federal law, uh, 18 U.S. Code 1342, it says like what you can and cannot fake on a PO box, and it's actually like not the place to be messing around. So one thing that we also do in this is we explain to people who are doing different things that the terms of service, just because, for example, PayPal is like a legal piece of software and technology people might use, right? What you might not realize is like the terms of service says it's not for certain things, it's not for certain people. And if you do those things, they could take your whole bank, they could take your whole PayPal account, freeze it, and lock you out. So, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. LPL was saying Matt is dropping that knowledge. Thanks, LPL. It's true out here, you know. But we put these things together. They're Creative Commons. They're for you. They're free. You know what I'm saying? I'm not selling it at a booth. Don't cost you nothing. Don't have to get sent to you. And we're translating them to different languages because we watch what's happening on the world. So we translate the guides to folks who need it. So also, like if you realize like, oh, this guide is dope and I really need it, but it's not available in the language that I need, let us know so we could find translators who will volunteer and do that. Or we could drop some money on translating it, especially when there's a lot of stuff dropping, things happening around the world. So, but there's more, you know what I'm saying? 1999, operator standing by, and there's more, y'all. There's more. So let's go back into what's in the resources. Let's share it out. By the way, if y'all have any questions, if you want to know something, if you want to understand the hacktivist mind, anything like that, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for you, y'all. But until then, I'm just going to jump back to this. Here we are with our guides. And we have a guide for researchers, right? And investigators. And it's for, if you're an investigator, researcher, reporter, which really means you're someone with a curious mind, then this is the guide for you. I think this one also drops as a PDF. So you just look at it here. It's a huge PDF. I don't know why I let this thing get so big. It's like a 43 meg PDF. So, oh, it's 89 pages. That's why. Yo, I think I tried to call this one the master class on how to do this stuff. Let it load in a little bit. Okay. So this was something I wrote in 2020, right? And it's like, as an investigator, it's not always safe to be an investigator. That's like the whole thing. Like, you know, when it rains, we get wet. And this is like for investigators and researchers, how to be secure. Because a lot of people do very sensitive investigations and they just leaving themselves out there. So this is something that I really wanted to like talk about the steps you can take to change that and have a more like safety first perspective. And I talk about like using a risk matrix to come up with what's the most likelihood of something happening and what's the most like high consequence thing. For example, a meteor hitting where you're sitting right now, that would be a catastrophic thing, but the likelihood is low. So it's like down here. But you're an investigator, someone looks you up because they don't like your investigation and find out more about you. That's highly likely and not so good. Not many good things will come from that. So because you can expect it, there's steps you can take. And this long thing has all these links and resources. And if you got questions on it, we got answers for you. And we talk about things like law enforcement requests system, which is lers.google.com, which is Google's red carpet for law enforcement and security forces around the world. If you have a law enforcement email, if you're law enforcement, you can just ask Google, like, yo, what is this person searching on? And you can ask, like, I want to know what this person's looking up. And that can really expose an investigation if you're investigating when you're logged in as yourself, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How to clean that up, how to avoid it, what the Facebook version of that looks like, facebook.com/records, blah, blah, blah. You heard it all before. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you'll find in that guide. Stop sharing. And it's taking you back. So yeah, that investigator's guide is really popular. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, I'm out here. This is Dagobah. You know, these are the training grounds, Luke. I'm Yoda in a backpack. You know, D Elixir said, Matt is Yoda out here. I'm not that baby Yoda. I'm old Yoda, about to fizzle up and turn into light on y'all. You know what I'm saying? So please get these lessons while they're here. And we try to update. One thing I want to talk about is we try to update guides when we see like they're getting a little too old, but other people who've used old guides have been like, why is this guide changed? I thought it was page 8. So I would love to get from you whether you'd like to see the guides volumes, like volume 1, volume 2, or whether erase the old one. Like, you know, let me know what you'd like to see, because this is real right here. This is the best of class right here. You know, you're not going to get this on no TikTok, right? So let's drop the next ones. Because sharing is caring, and we care. Cryptoharlem cares. I'm not just trying to make a quick buck. Okay. So we have this guide on how to scrub your information off the internet, emancipation from the grid. Harriet Tubman sticking her hand out. She's like, you with me or what? Get off this plantation. Let's go. Right. So when you click on this one, this takes you to a Google document, right? So I'll show you what it looks like. Harriet Tubman. Oh, thank you, family. Let's go. So, and if you live in the United States, if you travel to the United States, if you've had an address in the United States for any period of time, a lot of your data is just automatically ingested, right? So this is from June 2023. And with all these guides, all you got to do is click on a link and it just takes you down a rabbit hole. So not only is the guide like just chock full of gems, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, remember Jacob the jeweler used to have like do everybody's grills? These guides are like that, but they just take you from one thing to the next. So they're really just like holding your hand and walking you through this world you might not have known. And when you're trying to clean up your data, there is no way to clean your data. That's the thing, right? So like if you ask somebody, yo, let's say you needed to move some merchandise into a place that plus stuff is not accepted, right? Let's say we were trying to move Flipper Zeros into Brazil. We would never do that because it's banned, right? But let's say you're trying to move Flipper Zeros into Brazil. There's many ways to do that. And it depends who's looking. Like, yeah, you could duct tape a bunch of Flipper Zeros to your body, take a plane to Brazil and walk through, but that might be kind of weird. Why do you have this bulky chest? Why is it blinking up? And why is it the metal being detected? So when it comes to hiding your data, it's hiding from who? And you pick what shelf your data is on. Let me fix my name because my name is Sarah today. Ooh, I feel so much better. My name's not Sarah anymore. All right, so you can pay $5 to hide your data, and it'll work against someone who's just like doing the least to try to find you. Or you could pay $15,000 to hide your data, and it's for someone who's like got a really sophisticated, persistent searcher who's looking for them, right? So there's many different ways. When you want to get your data free, you could run through the water so the bloodhounds can't smell you, you know, or, you know, you could leave at night when the masters are sleeping, you know, the data masters, you know what I'm saying? There's many different paths to take. And that's what we talk about in this guide. So I don't want to, no spoilers. I want you to read it and understand it and absorb it. I always talk about who I am. I talk about who Sarah is. You have this privacy does not equal secrecy, right? And we talk about like you already should be using end-to-end encrypted stuff. You know, none of that should be new to you, right? But there's a lot of leaks, a lot of data that's being vacuumed up, and that's what led to this guide being created. In the same month this guide was created, we found out that the U.S. is openly stockpiling dirt on all its citizens, and that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence is just buying stuff. They're buying a lot of different data because legally they need to go through a certain channel to get access to this data. If, you know, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence wanted to know every phone record and every location of every user in New York City, they would be required by law to make an official request, And then a lot of judges would be like, well, why do you want that data for? They probably wouldn't get that. So instead, they've just been buying it, and a lot of times they're buying it for the cheap. A lot of times they're requesting and getting it for free on top. So we talk about how the U.S. intelligence confirms that it buys America's personal data, and that's not good. So, and then you can read that report. The report is here, you know what I'm saying? So we always also make sure, like, as much as you might have a certain viewpoint or ideology, we don't really mess with that. We keep it evidence-based and pragmatic around here. So, I don't like to talk to the choir. I like to talk to people who are like, I've never heard of this. Who are you? Look, we got so many receipts on this information. FBI has also violated surveillance program rules and have accessed this FISA database, which again, the FISA court is supposed to say you are allowed to have access on this particular search. Nah, in May, they revealed it's just going wild. In February, we already knew about this. New York Times articles. You can click and link and read about that stuff. So and Politico also. And then we also have the executive order 12333, which is the CIA's bulk collection of something we don't really fully understand. So a lot of stuff going down. We have ACLU and Department of Homeland Security commercial location data FOIA, which led to revealing a lot of this in July of 2022. So basically, your personal information is just out there. It's out there, and you need to clean it up. And this is how you clean it up, right? We talked about in this guide all the ways that it's out there. You want to use services like Bright Lines, Privacy Bee, Delete Me, Reputation Defender, or you want to just clean it up yourself, which you can do for free using apps and scripts like Privacy Bot and Permission Slip, yada, yada, yada. Keep it going, Seinfeld style, right? So listen, I'm not here to read the whole guide to you. That's why we wrote it. That's why we published it. That's why it's on cryptoharlem.com in our resources, right? LPL dropping truths here. The FISA court really only approved how the feds can gather and search the data. So they didn't even know what, and that's facts. And LPL out here says the FISA court, they don't even know what the feds are doing. That's also facts. And honestly, one agency might not know what the other agency is doing. Like federal is a large umbrella, so it gets really wild. It gets kind of loose out there. Hold on, let me move. I don't know. My name is in the upper left corner. I got to move my name somewhere. All right, so let's go back to it because we still got time on the clock. We got 8 minutes on the clock. I'm at the 3-point line. I'm about to just make this one count, okay? So we're almost at the finish line. Let's go through the rest of these resources. And let me tell you, we have new resources that are about to drop in the fall, okay? So I can't wait to share on the stream about them because they're powerful and they're helpful, right? So the very last one I'm going to talk about is for anyone who has a job anywhere. It says cybersecurity is a slingshot. And no, it's not an Ed LBNY slingshot that you roll in. You ever see those cool little transformer looking vehicles people driving, especially out here in the hood? Well, no, not those, not that kind of slingshot. Oh, we're joined by Don One Rider. I didn't know we were joined by the live from New York, Don One Rider. Thanks for joining us today. And before we get to the last guide, let me just do a very, very quick shout out because just to the stars, just to the ones who've really always been there. I appreciate y'all. All right. Ooh, it's me. Okay. Ooh, I do. Okay. So I meant it so much, I got to say it twice. A drawer of things. Where would we be without you? Thank you so much for moderating and observing and absorbing and always being there. It's like I'm at the school play and I look out, the moderators are there. Don't forget your lines, so D Elixir, draw up things. Appreciate y'all. So much love and respect to y'all. VIP room at LBNY TV. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, 01 Ella is here. You know what I'm saying? So let me put some respect on these moderators' names. All right. So look, a draw of things. So much props to you. Okay. Thanks for doing what you do. Okay. D Elixir. That's what's up, okay? Yo, at LBNY. Props. But there's more, there's more, there's more. 01 Ella, Alien Gathering, Another TV Viewer, Commander Root, of course, the homie Dancing with Burritos. Dancing with Burritos is also on our Discord, so you're gonna get the baby chat, the baby chair for that one. Okay, okay. Draft Snack, Tata, LPL. Just thanks for rolling through, dropping those knowledge. Mad Dope Matic in the house. Yo, Mad Dope Matic. Bars. Mark 8B, 82W, Fofo, and KZ. Thanks y'all for tuning in. Let's get to this last guide, and then we'll ride this one out. Okay. So this last guide is for anyone who's worked anywhere, and it tells you about workplace surveillance, which is something I'm an expert on. So I'm an expert on basically all this stuff because I had to be. But workplace surveillance, that's my bread and butter. I'm a people hunter. That's my hacker expertise, So let's get into it. You click on this guide, and it takes you to the Tech Worker Handbook. And that's a guide for a tech worker. But honestly, it's a guide for all workers. And when you go to the security section, right, you'll see the security section talks about IT, and I call IT invasive technologies because IT, they control a lot of stuff, And here's basically the whole entire security section. All companies track workers. This may occur passively or actively, but behaviors are logged in some way, often electronically. And that is whether you're punching a time card, whether you're tapping your ID for access, whether you're walking by a camera, they're watching you. And they're watching you in many ways. And this guide goes through all the different ways. It's actually 5 pieces. Before you need it is all the stuff you need to prepare before you get that job. Like, buy yourself a really good computer. It's better than your work computer. Otherwise, the gravitational force of you using the best computer in the house will have you putting stuff on your work computer that does not go there. It does not. Do not do that. Do not enter. So before you need it is a checklist of all the stuff you need to do before you need it, before you get in trouble, before you get to that heat, right? When it's time to take a stand that's when you're working and you notice something that's not right. Maybe, people saying something sideways. Maybe there's something of the public interest you want to share. Maybe you want to be a whistleblower. Maybe you just notice something's not is funky. That's when you read when it's time to take a stand. When speaking with reporters, reminds you that, look, reporters are out here trying to tell a story. And listen, it's not easy work. They're not doing it for the dime because reporters aren't getting paid crazy like that. Reporters, they just have like an itch. They can't stop scratching. It's like, oh, I need to know the answers to this question. But sometimes that leads them to get ahead of you. So it reminds you when you're talking to reporters how to manage that relationship because they might not have your best interest in heart from what you think. You know what I'm saying? And after something gets published, it's not going to get unpublished because you didn't like the way it sounded. Safety when at home is about how to lock down your house. So safety and when at home is if you're a tech worker working for, let's say, I don't know, X. Let's say there's a company called XYZ, right? And you don't feel safe working for that company and also leaking about that company or whistleblowing about that company. You shouldn't. Like Apple has their own security team. Apple had a secret phone that was in a lab, and when it got loose because someone accidentally left it in their back pocket and left it at a bar, they were hunting that phone for like a whole day, kicked indoors. They had straight up agents from the Matrix. Uber has a security team that's like all former like CIA ops and security ops. These operatives are not messing around. They are not just protecting intellectual property. They're out there gathering information. So you need to make sure that your home is safe. And then also there's a section about COVID-19 and things you need to think about because of COVID-19. So, and I had my homies work on this physical threat response stuff because so D. Neely wrote this whole section here on physical safety for tech workers. So there's the information security side, and then there's a whole physical safety side, which is a whole bunch of stuff. And listen, there's so many gems in here. You read all 5 modules on each side, that's 10 articles. Yo, you're going to know how to do all kinds of like ninjutsu up in here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just letting you know. Draw up things. Appreciate you. Up hands for you too as well. Okay, mad love to you. All right. So that's it. This has been the Crypto Harlem live stream. In case this is your first time, now you're no longer the uninitiated. You're a hacktivist. Be a hacktivist, okay? Like you're a cybersecurity pro. I don't know what that is. Like in the movie, they got the strong person, they got the gun person, they got the brain person, and then they have the hacker hacking. That's what they got in the movie. They don't have a cybersecurity pro. I'm sorry, it's not a role. Okay, it's not. They got cut. They got left on the cutting room floor. That was boring. Nobody cares about that. When you tell people, "Oh, I know cybersecurity stuff," they're like, "Oh yeah, can you hack into this? Can you hack into that?" You should just say no, because I'm a fraud. Okay, so yeah, like let's bring out, let's make you better. So the next guide, this little preview, is the next guide is going to be like how to turn cyber skills into applied security skills, and how to really be out here and be a real hacktivist. It's the hacktivist guide. And you don't have to cry. We'll be back Saturday at 1 Eastern time. Monday streams are not doing Monday streams no more. Monday streams are dreams. They're memories, okay? Just like our ops, just like those who came and tried to come against us. They're gone, they're ghost, okay? So, but one thing I will say is if you want to keep in contact with us between now and then, do what the Elixir says. Join our Discord, okay? Join a Discord. It's really simple, right? All you got to do is click on this link. I'll read it out to you, and I'll even put it on the screen, all right? discord.gg/invite/cryptoharlem. It's not one of those weird Discord links. It's not, XY1011Q # QR code. Nah, it's really simple. Just go to discord.gg/invite/cryptoharlem. And the more you do, the more you'll see. So actually get engaged on there. Right? When you first come in, you only can see a little bit, and it just starts opening up. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not trying to share. We got these public gems. We got some private gems. We got the whole jewelry case. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We got diamonds. So it's we only show those to those who are active the most. So get on there, do what you got to do. I appreciate you. And yeah, before we bounce, I guess that's that. So what am I going to leave you with? What am I going to leave you with today? What was I thinking? I had a really good idea. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave them with this particular thing, but then I don't know, my mind is not where it needs to be. So I think I'll leave you with, y'all been seeing the Crypto Harlem doc for a long time, and that's mad long. So I think I'll leave you with this. I don't know. Maybe I'll just wrap it. Because I don't even know what I want to share. What's the last thing I want to share on here? So I'm just gonna rap. So I'm not gonna rap like J. Cole. I'm just gonna rap like Matt. But do your thing. Here's my DEFCON badge, by the way. I was in a contest. I was in a contest. It was dope. I was the judge of a contest. It was really fun. So I'll make sure I post that up on the site so you can see a picture from that. But yeah, respect to all of y'all. Encrypt. These lessons are free. Unlock your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. So all y'all who went to DEFCON to talk to me and you're inspired by my words, just remember, there's more, and we got so much in store. We're switching things up for the fall, and I can't wait to share more next week. Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Twitch TV/Cryptoharlem. Peace. When I talk to people about surveillance, there's this kind of why I don't have anything to hide. I never get that when I'm talking to this community. You can't buy a bag of chips in Harlem without being surveilled. A crypto party is an event where people get together to talk about digital surveillance, digital safety, and what they can do to be safer, mitigate risk. Crypto Harlem is open for all people. All people are welcome. But Crypto Harlem is here for a reason. It's for Black people in Harlem who are over-policed and heavily surveilled. And this is a safe space for us all to learn together, something to learn from each other.
Harlem is like a cultural hub. It's really important to highlight it, where it's been and where it's going. Including tech in that conversation is just important about making sure that we can progress. It's about disruption.
One thing that I do is I spend a lot of time looking at current events in information security, cyber, and I ask myself, like, how does this story affect people on the ground in Harlem right now? So I'll walk around for 3 hours, just handing out flyers, talking to people in the community, promoting the event, because you're not going to get the best people and a good representation of the community by posting it on Meetup or Twitter. That's just not reality. You need to go to the barbershops, you need to go to the hair salons, you need to talk to the pastor of that church and the imam of that mosque and really get down with the people. Can I give you this? It's a free class that we do right there around the corner over there. Yeah. It's about computer security. It's like family friendly. Talks about surveillance and a lot of other issues. In New York City, especially in communities like the Bronx and Harlem, we have this thing called stop and frisk. It's like very aggressive and it's dehumanizing. But there's a new practice, which is like the digital version of it, which is probably more dangerous. What we see with this kind of digital world of stop and frisk are young folks who are told by YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, be yourself, express yourself, tell us your stories and present them here. And those stories are being turned against them. If there is any criminal act or an act of violence by one person, and that person's associated with you or associated with your crew, you'll get taken down. A lot of people understand this idea of like 6 degrees of separation, but when you're a person of color, it's like 2. These kind of stories, we need to pick them up, we need to raise them up, we need to address them and solve them ourselves because no one else will. If you can hear the sound of my voice, clap your hands 3 times. Okay, we're starting back. Black folks have been surveilled since the very beginning, since we landed here on slave ships, right? So you're a number. They're just like slave number 10, walked over here, walked over there, drank some water, did this. That situation has followed us, but hasn't changed that much. Technology will just make things harder to see.
So what Matt does with these crypto parties is he'll bring a different topic each time he comes in. It's about exposing them to a lot of different pieces of information, but it's also about equipping you with that knowledge and then moving forward on your own.
When we have these surveillance talks, I tend to see morality going down. And I would like to see morality going up. So if we can share more tools that organizers should be using today, even if you can name 1 or 2, I would love to know.
I think he does a really good job of then trying to encourage you to take control of whether it's your privacy or it's learning about blockchain or it's learning about Bitcoin. Like he really tries to empower people.
Shut up, Tommy-o. Thank you, okay. What about at a protest? So New York City was like, well, we're gonna try to set up the rules where we'll turn off the cameras at a protest so you're not being shown like, okay, I'm this person, I'm against this thing. But the cameras are moving faster than the regulations are because law doesn't move that quickly. I think that it's for us as citizens to get a little more involved in these policies and issues so we can help steer them.
People are hungry for this, and there's so many community leaders who are already here, and coming into a room like this just kind of gives you an affirmation, like, yes, we're on the right path.
I'm a hacker, but I'm Black first. And when you see me a block away, you know I'm Black. You don't know I'm a hacker. One thing that I hope to get out of this event is creating more Black hackers, creating more Black people in cyber, creating more Black people in InfoSec, because it's a space where there are more positions than people. So I want to see more of myself in the work that I work in. People say this is the next frontier of civil rights, and it's a statement that I agree with.